Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom McLaughlin. I get to be the musical director of this group behind me that's known as Unforgettable Big Band. And we're happy to be here tonight to present our encore performance of the Sinatra Centennial program that we performed back in December on Frank's 100th birthday. As usual with productions like this, there are a few items of business and a few notes that need to get taken care of before we start, so I only have one volume here tonight. And I promise that what I have to say is only one page, actually. We are celebrating 100 years of Sinatra also tonight, and we didn't plan it this way, but it kind of worked out that way. We are also mourning 18 years after the death of Frank Sinatra, because it was May 14th, 18 years ago when Frank left us. This show actually had its genesis back in June of last year when the band was performing for the kickoff dinner for the Rotary Club of York, who was celebrating their 100th anniversary last year, and we had been talking about doing a 100th anniversary tribute to Frank Sinatra. It seemed like some great synergy, and the Rotary Club offered to become the lead sponsor to produce the Sinatra Centennial show. We got a few other sponsors that I should mention that helped us with the expenses to put this together. So in addition to the Rotary Club of York, they were the Gladfelder Insurance Group, Brown's Orchards, the Financial Advisory Group, Dr. Sam Louts and attorney David Louts, and Lindy and Vicki Mack. And we performed this show to 2 sellout crowds at York Little Theater in December. And a lot of people talked to us and wrote to us and said, we'd like to see it again, or we were out of town that weekend, we didn't get to go. And so Jim Schofield, that's Mr. Schofield to all you students here at Eastern that still have to call him that, spoke with Dollars for Scholars here at Eastern York, and we decided that we could come out here and play and try to raise some money for worthy students and do the show again. So here we are. We want to thank Susquehanna Dodge and News Radio 910, Sweet 16 Oldies Radio 1600 in Elizabethtown, WXIQ in Millersville, WFNM from Franklin and Marshall, and 106.1 Community Radio in York, Pennsylvania, for helping to get the word out. And here you are, and we thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. We're also releasing our Sinatra Centennial CD, which was recorded in December. It's available in the lobby along with our 2 previous CDs, one for $15, 2 for $25, 3 for $30. I'm required by the good folks in Harrisburg to tell you that those prices do include 6% Pennsylvania state sales tax, because they're going to get theirs one way or the other. But we'll make a special deal with you tonight. You know, it looks like we did pretty good with people walking in. It looks like we did pretty good for ticket sales, but we'd like to do better. So we're going to challenge you tonight. This show cost $25 when we performed it down at York Little Theater, and we wanted as many people to be able to come and see it as we could possibly get here tonight. So we lowered the price to just 10. But we put a bucket out by the table where we have CDs. And we're going to make a special deal that if instead of paying the band $15 for a CD, if you want to throw $5 in the bucket to support Dollars for Scholars, and $5 in the bucket to support the care and feeding of the big band, then we'll give you a CD for only $5, and that way Uncle Sam doesn't have to get as much of it, and a chunk of that money can come right back to Dollars for Scholars here in Eastern York, because we like to do win-win situations. And with that in mind, you're not here to hear me talk. I'm going to take the microphone across the stage. They hear too much of me anyway. And I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Doug Knight, who is kind of York's chief connector. He's going to be your chief connector tonight. He's going to be your MC and your host for this evening as we take you through the music of Frank Sinatra.
Good evening, Eastern York High School. No, that's right. Good evening, Eastern York High School. You guys ready for some Sinatra? Are we ready? Are we ready for some Sinatra? All right, I gotta get ready. December 12th, 1915, Francis Albert Sinatra was born in Hoboken, New Jersey. Jersey. At 13 and a half pounds, he was already a big fan. Sinatra spent his life becoming larger than life, and in the end, he would be remembered as the best-known American vocalist of all time. Not content with local opportunities, young Frank set his sights on the big time, and by his mid-20s, he already had the world on his own.
I've got the world on a string, sitting on that rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so and so if I should ever let it go. I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got that string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. Is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so and so if I should ever let it go. I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got that string around my finger.
First recorded by Sinatra in 1953, I've Got a World on the String became one of the most memorable songs from his Capitol Records recording period of the 1950s and arranged by Nelson Riddle. This period would prove to be very productive for Sinatra, who recorded many and most enduring melodies during these years. So in 1957, Sammy Cahn and Jimmy Van Heusen wrote again a selection, Come Fly With Me, at Frank's request. And together with Billy May's orchestration, they created one of Frank's most iconic and memorable recordings.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just fly, starry you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear the angels cheer because we're together. Weatherwise, it's such a lovely day. You just say those words and we'll beat those birds down to Acapulco Bay. Oh, it's a perfect flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide, starry-eyed. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear the angels cheer because we're together. Weatherwise, it's such a lovely day. You just say those words and we'll beat those birds down on Acapulco Bay. Oh, it's a perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly, let's fly. Pack up, let's fly away.
So for some of Sinatra's most memorable openers, we turn to the work of Frank's early years. For young Sinatra, much of his life was spent in search of opportunities to be heard and to break in with a band. And after some early success with the Hoboken Four and touring briefly with major bows in his radio troupe, Sinatra accepted a job waiting tables at a place called the Rustic Cabin in Englewood's Cliffs, New Jersey. Now, you're asking, why is Old Blue Eyes doing this? Here's the payoff. That cabin had the radio wire to WNEW in Manhattan, which gave Frank an opportunity to sing and to be heard on the air. So one of his early listeners was a trumpeter named Harry James, who had left the Benny Goodman Orchestra in January '39 to headline his own big band. So in the spring of that same year, James visited the Rustic Cabin, heard Sinatra's performance of Cole Porter's Day and Night, signed him to a one-year contract. So waiting tables, it's a good thing. Though Sinatra's time with the James Band would only last 7 months, it resulted in his first legitimate hit. The recording we'll play tonight, All or Nothing at All.
Never
The upstart Harry James Band would give Sinatra a launching pad, but the young man was shooting for the stars, determined to become bigger than Bing. It's Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby. He was huge in the 40s. And as fate would have it, Tommy Dorsey found himself in need of a new vocalist after Jack Leonard walked off on the bandstand. Dorsey was bemoaning a loss one evening to a guy named Jimmy Hilliard, who was the music supervisor for CBS. And Jimmy says, "Have you heard the skinny kid who sings with Harry James? He's nothing to look at, but he's got a sound. Harry can't be paying him much, so you might be able to take him away." Dorsey would hear for himself soon enough. With James' good bidding, Sinatra joined the Pied Pipers, Buddy Rich, and the rest of Dorsey's impressive array of talent. It was this combination that would tour for several years, including here in York, and would produce multiple hits, including "I'll Be Seeing You," "How About You," and the hugely popular "I'll Never Smile Again."
I'll never smile again until I smile at you. I'll never laugh again. What good would it do? For tears would fill my eyes, my heart would realize that our romance is through. I'll never love again. I'm so in love with you. I'll never thrill again to somebody new. Within my heart, I know I will never start to smile again until I smile at you. Nick Berger on trombone, ladies and until I smile at you.
Despite some rocky times and a heated contract dispute when Sinatra left Dorsey, Sinatra always considered it to be one of the greatest influences of his career and his approach to music making. Sinatra was drawn to melodic playing and the long, smooth phrasing that Dorsey commanded effortlessly from his trombone. And he worked to emulate that style. In fact, he actually used a form of circular breathing in his vocal performance. For his part, the tough, hard-nosed businessman Dorsey was known in his public as the sentimental gentleman of swing, largely due to the great success of our next selection. Nick Berger would take the lead on "I'm Getting Sentimental Over You." under Dorsey, Sinatra's star continued to rise, and amplification and recording techniques improved. And the day of the vocalist was dawning. And while the big bands had served him well and showcased his talents, they were no longer the main focus. Sorry. Sinatra was determined to go independent as a solo artist, but under the strict terms of his contract with Dorsey, a substantial portion of his earnings would go back to Dorsey. Now, eventually, this agreement was reached, and although the terms were not disclosed, most insiders agree that at the end, record executives who wanted to sign Sinatra simply paid Dorsey a large dime. Frank was free, began a string of successful recordings, which peaked in 1950 with the album Dedicated to You, which featured a song that would become a regular part of future Sinatra performances.
It seems we stood and talked like this before. Looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes that you wore. Smile, you were smiling, you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before, and we laughed before, and we loved before, but who knows where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before, and we laughed before, and we loved before, but who knows where or when.
So between 1950 and 1953, Sinatra experienced a downturn in his career for the first time. And many believed it was the beginning of the end. Not for the last time, Sinatra surprised all the critics. He lobbied for and landed a role of Maggio in a 1953 motion picture, From Here to Eternity. Please watch this movie. It's fantastic. Sinatra would win an Academy Award for his performance, and seemingly overnight, his movie singing career, they were reborn. Now, throughout the remainder of the decade, Sinatra would continue recording and making movies, while spending more and more time performing in and around a growing little desert oasis we like to call Las Vegas. And to the end, Sinatra considered himself a saloon singer at heart. And those live performances featured a song that, what he liked to call a drug song. The orchestration was reduced, pianist Bill Miller accompanying Sinatra as he spun his magic.
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story I think think you should know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I got the routine, so put another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad. Can't you make the music easy and sad? I could tell you a lot, but you've got to be true to your goal. So make it one for my baby and one more for the road. You never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I got a lot of things I want to say. And when I'm gloomy, well, you gotta listen to me till it all is talked away. Well, that's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. So thanks for the cheese. I hope you didn't mind my band in your ear. 'Cause this torch that I found, well, it's got to be drowned or it soon might explode. So make it one for my baby and one more for the road. That long, long road.
So, following a drunk song, Sinatra often sat alone on the stage on a stool. We delivered this wildly rambling monologue that could cover basically any topic, from childhood to his friends. And by the end of the 50s, Sinatra's movie career and his renewed singing career were spiraling toward an event which has been retold and retold in every possible way over a 3-week period in 1960. Las Vegas, Sands Hotel, became the film location for the Ocean's 11. Sorry, Brad Pitt. No clue. I'd start a few people you might have heard of. Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Joey Bishop, and Peter Lawson. And the group spent their evenings performing and carousing in the hotel's Copa room in an event, a spectacle, known as the Summit of the Sands, which is considered to be the birth of the Red Band.
Sinatra began his long relationship with the Sands in October of 1953, at a time when his career was in need of a boost. At age 37, his status as heartthrob to teeny Bobby Soxers had faded. His record sales were slumping, and he had received a great deal of negative press over his divorce from his first wife, Nancy Barbato, and subsequent marriage to Ava Gardner. However, from the stage of the Sands Copa Room, Sinatra's star power was resurgent.
Ava Gardner. That's Ava Gardner. He married Ava Gardner. In collaboration with talented arrangers such as Nelson.
Skinny guy.
Skinny guy from Hoboken married Ava Gardner. It's not a looker, right? So he had this bold, innovative, swinging sound he brought to the Vegas stage. And his swing takes in the standards, like Cole Porter's I Get a Kick Out of You, and I've Got You Under My Skin, and Gershwin's They Can't Take That Away From Me. It perfectly captured equally the earthy and that urbane vibe of Vegas. And the voice of Sinatra quickly becomes the de facto soundtrack for the nights on the Strip. And so much so that later on, of course, Sinatra, being Sinatra, he bought a share of the hotel himself.
So in 1960, the film Ocean's 11 was shot at the hotel, and the Sands attained iconic status, with regular performances by Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. Sinatra and Davis were instrumental in bringing about change in the racial policy at the Sands, and after an incident in 1961, the hotel began employing African Americans.
So Sinatra had been part of the circle of drinking buddies that started around Humphrey Bogart and Bogart's wife, Lauren Bacall, referred to them as the Rat Pack. So at the Sands, Sinatra sort of reassembled his own pack and lived it up on the stage and went off with Martin and Davis and Bishop and Longwood. The Sinatra-led group sort of cemented that suave image of tuxes all the time. But it's sort of a madcap, reputation in the 60s when they would appear in the Copa and those legendary shows, the Summit at the Sands.
So Sinatra and his cohorts' high life, open-hearted performance, their stylish swagger, their all-night parties, and their anything for a gag laughs indelibly defined Las Vegas cool. During some of the shows at the Summit, a rolling bar cart was even rolled onto the stage where it had remained within easy reach of Dean Martin and the rest of the performers, and that only added to the hijinks on stage. And yes, these guys really did that down at York Little.
I really thought we had this in the writer.
Over that 3-week period, no more than 18,000 fans actually got to see one of these historic performances. It really was a small room, and that's a shame because they're often referred to as the high point of Sinatra's career, and the album Sinatra at the Sands is considered a landmark in the performance industry.
Backing up the Rat Pack was the Sands House Orchestra led by Antonio Morelli, who is credited with bringing much of the musical success to the Copa Room. In addition to his work at the Sands, Morelli is credited with bringing classical music to Las Vegas as well, and he was the founder of the Las Vegas Pops Orchestra. Sometimes after-hours festivities would carry over to the Morelli home, nicknamed Morelli House. The festivities, yeah, that's in quotes. So great was Morelli's influence on Las Vegas's musical culture that his home was relocated and preserved to become the headquarters for the Las Vegas Junior League and designated a National Historic Landmark. Meanwhile, during an ongoing redevelopment, most of the older resorts on the Las Vegas Strip were eventually imploded to make room for newer, larger resorts.
This demolition included the Sands, which was last seen in the climactic scenes of the motion picture Con Air, a scene in which an airplane crashes through a Las Vegas casino. Today, that section of the Vegas Strip where the Sands and the Desert Inn and the Morelli House all once stood are all covered by the footprint of Steve Wynn's massive Venetian resort.
Although Sinatra recorded the next selection, it's most commonly associated with Sammy Davis Jr. and was frequently performed by the Rat Pack at concert dates. In 1965, at a benefit in St. Louis, even the Tonight Show legend Johnny Carson joined them to sing a verse. And if you listen closely, you may just hear a little influence of the Summit Singers as we perform Birth of the Blues.
Oh, they say some people long ago were the tune, one that they could croon as only they can. They only had a rhythm, so they started swaying to and fro. They didn't know just what to use, but this is how the blues really began. This is the way the blues began. They heard the breeze through the trees, singing weird melodies, and they named that just the start of the blues. Then from a jail there came a wail of a downhearted frail, and they played as a part of the blues. Now from a whippoorwill high on a hill, they took a new note. Oh, pushed it through a horn until it was born into a blue note. And then they nursed it, yeah, rehearsed it, and then gave out the news that that Southland really gave birth to the blues. Now from a whippoorwill high on a hill, they grabbed a new note. Oh, pushed it through a horn until it was worn into a blue note. And then they nursed it, oh, rehearsed it, and then gave out the news that that Southland gave birth to the blues. Everybody, they nursed it, rehearsed it, and gave out the news that that Southland gave birth to the blues.
Let's do it one more time for Sammy and the Rat Pack.
From a whippoorwill high on a hill, they grabbed a new note. Oh, pushed it through a horn until it was worn into a blue note. And then they noised it, rehoiced it, and then gave out the news that that Southland gave birth to the blues. Everybody, they nursed it, rehearsed it, and gave out the news that that Southland gave birth to the blues. Whoa!
Another Sinatra blockbuster during the run-up, this emergence of the Rat Pack, was in '56, a recording, Under My Skin. The product was a late addition to the album Song for Swingin' Lovers. Nelson Riddle created the arrangement, which had been long considered to be his very best, in less than 24 hours in order to accommodate this newly contracted longer album. So this is a fun story. So uncharacteristically, Sinatra called for repeated takes. He gathered the musicians' sense were really part of something special, but finally the trombonist, his name was Milt Bernhardt, complained that he had nothing left, nothing in the tank. And Frank asked to give him one more. He probably said, like, you need to give me one more. Huh? One more. And the result is this out-of-control wailing trombone solo that became a part of history. And while he sang the song that some would say is Sinatra's most loved.
I've got you under my skin. Well, I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. Well, I said to myself, this affair, it never will go so well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, you know so well I've got you under my skin. Well, I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, but say, having you near, in spite of the warning noise that comes in the night, it repeats in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. You heard him earlier. Nick Berger on trombone. You better run for cover. Run it high. Here we go! Sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of the warning voice that comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Why not use your mentality, step up and wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Yeah, you grab me, baby, under my skin.
Backstage. I heard you snapping. You're getting there. All right. Now look, one of Sinatra's most regularly performed songs in the 1950s was Lady Is A Tramp. Originally appearing in the 1937 musical Babes in Arms, Sinatra sang it in the 1940 motion picture Pow Joey, another movie you should watch. Bill Byers' arrangement that made magic this time for Sinatra. It would make frequent appearances on Frank's programs, including the opener for his 1974 main event concert at Madison Square Garden, accompanied by the Woody Herman Orchestra.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. She likes the theater, but never comes late. She never bothered with the people that she hates. That's why the lady is a tramp. Doesn't like dice games with barons or earls. Won't go up to Harlem dressed in ermine and pearl. Won't dish the dirt with the rest of them girls. Well, that's why the lady is a tramp. Loves the free, fresh wind in her hair. Life without a care. Well, she's broke, but it's oak. Hates California, 'cause it's cold and it's damn. That's why the lady is a tramp. She gets far too hungry, baby, for dinner at 8. She enjoys the theater, but never gets there late. She never bothers with the people that she hates. That is why the lady is a tramp. Doesn't like dice games with sharpies or fraud. Won't drive up to Harlem and shiny Lincolns or more. Won't dish the dirt with the rest of them broads. That's why the lady is a tramp. She loves the free, fresh, wild, knocked out cuckoo, groovy wind in her hair. Life without a care. She's broke, but it's oak. Loves California, 'cause it's cold and it's damn. That's why the lady, that is why the lady, that's why the lady is a tramp.
Between 1935 and 1960, Frank Sinatra saw his fortunes rise and then fall, and then rise again to new heights. And at the top of his game, at the top of his voice, Sinatra would look back fondly on the days performing with the Rat Pack, some of the very best times of his life. The boy from Hoboken to become the man standing on top of the mountain, believing firmly in the lyrics of our next song.
Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't that be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't that be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day of mine. Come the day of mine. I'm gonna teach you to fly. We've only tasted the wine. We're gonna drain the cup dry. Wait till your charms are right for these arms to surround. You think you've flown before, but baby, you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't that be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day of mine. come the day you're mine, and you're gonna be mine. No doubt about it, you're gonna be mine.
We'll be back after a short intermission break.